We all need a little motivation from time to time. A swift kick when we're feeling a bit uninspired. The struggle to find motivation isn't new. Woven throughout the most famous Stoic texts are wisely chosen words designed to motivate oneself. They knew then, as we know now, that the right words, at the right time, can inspire action. Consider Seneca quoting Epicurus in a letter to his friend Lucilius. The fool, with all his other faults, has this also: he is always getting ready to live. So today, as you're looking for a little extra motivation to get after the task at hand, consider these quotes from nearly 2000 years ago. You could live life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Marcus Aurelius. Putting things off is the biggest waste of life. It snatches away each day as it comes, and denies us the present by promising the future. The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. You are arranging what lies in fortune's control, and abandoning what lies in yours. What are you looking at? To what goal are you straining? The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. On the shortness of life. How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself and in no instance bypass the discriminations of reason? You have been given the principles that you ought to endorse, and you have endorsed them. What kind of teacher, then, are you still waiting for in order to refer your self-improvement to him? You are no longer a boy but a full-grown man. If you are careless and lazy now and keep putting things off and always deferring the day after which you will attend to yourself, you will not notice that you are making no progress, but you will live and die as someone quite ordinary. From now on, then, resolve to live as a grown-up who is making progress, and make whatever you think best a law that you never set aside. And whenever you encounter anything that is difficult or pleasurable or highly or lowly regarded, remember that the contest is now. You are at the Olympic Games, you cannot wait any longer, and that your progress is wrecked or preserved by a single day and a single event. This is how Socrates fulfilled himself, by attending to nothing except reason in everything he encountered. And you, although you are not yet Socrates, should live as someone who at least wants to be Socrates. Remember how long you've been putting this off, how many extensions the gods gave you, and you didn't use them. At some point you have to recognize what the world it is that you belong to. What power rules it and from what source you spring. That there is a limit to the time assigned you, and if you don't use it to free yourself, it will be gone and will never return. You are living as if destined to live forever. Your own frailty never occurs to you. You don't notice how much time has already passed, but squander it as though you had a full and overflowing supply, though all the while that very day which you are devoting to somebody or something may be your last. You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. How late it is to begin really to live just when life must end. How stupid to forget our mortality, and put off sensible plans to our 50th and 60th years, aiming to begin life from a point at which few have arrived. On the shortness of life. What would have become of Hercules, do you think, if there had been no lion, hydra, stag or boar, and no savage criminals to rid the world of? What would he have done in the absence of such challengers? Obviously he would have just rolled over in bed and gone back to sleep. So by snoring his life away in luxury and comfort he never would have developed into the mighty Hercules. And even if he had, what good would it have done him? What would have been the use of those arms, that physique, and that noble soul, without crises or conditions to stir into him action? Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day. The one who puts the finishing touches on their life each day is never short of time. Seneca. You will hear many people saying, "When I am 50 I shall retire into leisure. When I am 60 I shall give up public duties." And what guarantee do you have of a longer life? Who will allow your course to proceed as you arrange it? Aren't you ashamed to keep for yourself just the remnants of your life, and to devote to wisdom only that time which cannot be spent on any business? How late it is to begin really to live just when life must end. Seneca. On the shortness of life. Concentrate every minute like a Roman, like a man, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, with justice. And on freeing yourself from all other distractions. Yes, you can if you do everything as if it were the last thing you were doing in your life, and stop being aimless, stop letting your emotions override what your mind tells you, stop being hypocritical, self-centered, irritable. You see how few things you have to do to live a satisfying and reverent life. If you can manage this, that's all even the gods can ask of you. Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, "I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of, if I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do? Or is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm. But it's nicer in here. So you were born to feel nice. Instead of doing things and experiencing them. Don't you see the plants, the birds, the ants and spiders and bees going about their individual tasks, putting the world in order, as best they can? And you're not willing to do your job as a human being. Why aren't you running to do what your nature demands? But we have to sleep sometime. Agree. But nature set a limit on that, as it did on eating and drinking. And you're over the limit. You've had more than enough of that. But not of working. There you're still below your quota. Marcus Aurelius. Meditations. They lose the day in expectation of the night, and the night in fear of the dawn. Seneca. Stop drifting, sprint to the finish. Write off your hopes, and if your well-being matters to you, be your own savior while you can. Marcus Aurelius. Whatever can happen at any time can happen today. Seneca. Suppose that a god announced that you were going to die tomorrow, or the day after. Unless you were a complete coward, you wouldn't kick up a fuss about which day it was. What difference could it make? Now recognize that the difference between years from now and tomorrow is just as small.